Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about a photo shoot with Stephanie. Ethereal portraits and environmental portraits are my go-to. If you look on my Instagram page, you'll see that I just love this kind of work. So I'm going to share with you some behind the scenes, prepping, how I directed my model. So this might give you some tips and ideas, and also some editing, what I did to produce the final images. I hope you get lots out of this video. If there's anything you want to know, please ask in the comments below. Happy to answer. And yeah, I look forward to showing you an ethereal portrait session with Stephanie. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. So here I am in Lightroom. Here's this image of Stephanie that I'm going to edit first. So first thing I'm going to do is crop it. So I'll go to the develop module, D for develop, and I'm going to crop just because I think I want to just take it to there, and I think I like it about there. I think her eyes are centered well there, and yeah, that's where I'll do that. I think that's it. So the flowers, obviously they're way blue than the final image, so I'm going to show you how I would do that. So I would go to the hue saturation panel and go to the saturation and just drop the saturation in those blues to make them more kind of pastel. The luminance I will take down slightly so they're not so bright. Or, let's see, no. Take them just up a touch. Go back to the saturation and just take those down just a little more so they're very pastel. So before, after. Before, after. I'm hitting the backslash key for the before and after. So I'm just thinking I might just crop just a touch more. Just so there's a little more dynamic focus is really on her face. There. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is these greens, a little too green for this look. I love green, I love nature, but I just feel like I want to adjust those. So I'll go to the hue, saturation and luminance panel of Lightroom and just drop the greens. Yellows as well, because green has a lot of yellow in it, especially just in this area here. There's some little bright green areas. So I'll just take that down. You can see the saturation's coming down. It just gives it a whole different mood. And I think I'll just lift the greens just ever so slightly. So I quite like that. So with Steph's skin, she's got great skin, but I will take this into Photoshop and show you how I would do that. So go Command E on a Mac. So here I am in Photoshop. I've got my background layer. I Command J to duplicate my layer, and I'm just going to zoom in. And there's a couple of little areas, like the hair, some little dots that's definitely set to, would be okay to clean up. So, and also these little branches here, I will use the spot healing. Oops. I will do the spot healing brush. Let's see what that does. So I'm just going to come down and take that off. I'll stop there, just let Photoshop think about it for a bit. And then here as well, just take that through there. No, it hasn't worked as beautifully as we would have liked. It's alright, you keep trying. Okay, that's good. And look, these were the white flowers that were hanging above her head, and I quite like them as a little feature. You know, we can pretend they were part of the headpiece. And there's a hair there, I'll just tidy that up. And this one here. This one here. I won't spend a lot of time doing this. Just want to give you an idea of how I would edit. And so I think that looks okay. So if I zoom out, it just looks like it's part of what's meant to be there and not a branch hanging down. So I'm happy with that. I'll just turn that on and off and see the difference. Okay, so I will do another layer now, Command J, and just tidy up Steph's skin a little with spot healing, just little areas like this. Steph said it was okay to just tidy up these little birthmarks, so it's good. And just through here, I might do the patch tool just to tidy that area there. Sampling from there. Deselect. And I think that's good. Yes. So I'm just going to clean up these little hairs here. So back to the spot healing. Brush smaller and just tidy that up. Yes, it's doing a nice job. blemishes. I'll tidy up. And there's another hair right there. I'll just speed this up so you don't have to sit and watch this, because it might take a little while. Also, add a new layer. I will just take the clone stamp tool just on very low flow, low opacity, low flow, about 8, 9. I'm just going to tidy up around here, any little shadows. Just ever so slightly, just tapping, just I don't want to move the pixels around too much. Tidies that up. I'm just going to, I might just lift the opacity slightly, just around here. And a little on the chin. Just cleans everything up nicely. You still want to keep the integrity of the skin, so you need to do this very gently. I just noticed on her nose there are just a couple of little areas that need tidying up. Just light smoothing. Let's see. Before, after, ever so slightly. Just going to do a tiny bit on the forehead. This was shot with natural light, so I don't want to move the, I don't want to change that too much. As you can see, there's some light just here above the brows, so I kind of want to keep that, because I quite like that. And I might do some slight dodging and burning afterwards, once I see the whole image finished. That's the final touches. I think that's nice. Maybe just here near the nose. Just there. Stephanie's very beautiful. She doesn't need a lot going on here. Another thing I do sometimes, and I'll show you, is just take a blank layer and a brush, and I just ever so slightly sample the lip colour. And I've just noticed that some of her lip is worn off, so I'm just going to get the flow right down to about 30%, and just take that colour, just, nope, not like that, keep that shadow there, just tap. Also take the opacity down even further, just to add a tiny bit of colour if you need to. Sometimes do this just to brighten up an area. Especially when you're working with models and they're having a drink of water and you just want to tidy up where the lipstick's kind of worn off. It's a bit heavy-handed. I'll just make that a tad darker. So you're just sampling colours close to where you want to clean up. And I'll show you before and after. So let's just tidy that up. This gives it a more uniform, cleaner look. Yeah, I think that's very noticeable, but you can see, yeah, before and after. I think it looks neater. I think I'm just going to clean up this little area here, so I will do the same. Just grab some of her natural skin colour. And just ever so slightly take that off before or after. Just tidies everything. Very nice. Just defines as well. Sometimes I do that in the brows. I'll just show you how I might do that here. That little area there is a little bit lighter, so I would probably just ever so slightly. Be careful not to like paint heavily because it will be very noticeable. And yeah, I'm happy with that. So before, after, barely noticeable, but just more uniform and tidy. So that's looking better. I'm liking the whole look of the image a lot more. I feel like it's a little oversaturated still, so I might do that in Lightroom. I'm quite happy with those greens, and yeah, I want to add some contrast and things like that. So I will go back to Lightroom now, so I'm going to go Command E to merge it all down. And then Command Save. I'm not sure what the sequence is for PC, but that's for Mac. I'm sorry, I think it's Option. Using Option instead of Command. Or Control, sorry. Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, so we'll go back to Lightroom, and that should be in there. So it saves back in here as a TIFF. So that's before we went into... That's before we went into Photoshop, and that's after. So here we are back in Lightroom, and I'm just going to... What do I feel like I need to do? I think I've done some work on her. You know what I do sometimes actually that's interesting is I grab the brush and I take everything back to the 0. So double click effect, takes everything back to 0, and I just do a little saturation brush because I'm going to desaturate. I still want her lips to show and be, because they will, the saturation will lessen, so I'm going to just lift that ever so slightly. So if you take that right up, you can see that it will go quite bright, and see that's where I've taken the saturation down, that's where I've brushed, and it's grey and yucky, so I'll just take that back up a little bit, maybe about 17. Also with the eyes too, I really like that. Oops, the shadow there. And there we go. So zooming out, press return. So now I'm just going to desaturate the whole image ever so slightly. It tends to clean up skin too, I find. I don't quite like that. So that's lovely and soft. Contrast just up ever so slightly. Just get a little bit more contrast and mood into the image. And take it up to about, I think 14. And sometimes I also grab just a brush, double click effect, take everything back to 0, and I like to just add clarity to a little area of the image, and today I think I'm going to do it here in the hair just to make it stand out, and also just on her lashes, just on a lash line. Just find that looks really pretty usually, and just brings the photo to life. And hit enter. Back to, yeah. So So I like to just turn everything off sometimes. L for loop view, and that just closes off everything. So I'm quite liking that as an image. I think I just want to add a very slight vignette just to draw your eye to the center of her face. So I do usually just use the vignette because I like it in Lightroom. So I'm just going to add, I'll take it right down so you can see. See, that's way too much, but take it down and then just bring it up ever so slightly. And I think that's nice. Before and after. See, it just draws you in. Sometimes I do a little radial filter and just central and everything off. Effect, double click effect, everything off, and just ever so slightly. I think that's making this area too bright, so I'll bring it down so that becomes the area that's going to be affected mostly. Ever so slightly. Before, after, before, after. I still feel like there's probably a little bit more, too much light on this side, so I'm just going to grab the gradient tool, bring it across, hit the effect, everything back to 0, all the settings back to 0, just take that side down ever so slightly, and drag it across, ever so slightly, before and after. It's amazing the difference that makes. I think her hair is beautiful, and I'm just not sure if it's too light or too warm or not warm enough, so I'm just going to grab a brush and play around with that just for a moment. I think I'd like to see it a little darker, so I'll just bring the exposure down on a brush and just paint it in some areas. Just see how I like it. And also just the back of her hand I find just a little white. It's quite a bright day. Just brush some negative exposure there, just so you're not focusing on that. And yeah, I think that's good. So before from Photoshop to now, I'm happy with that. I'll show you that view. Yeah, I like it. I think it adds more mood and atmosphere, and it's more ethereal kind of shooting that I like to do, or editing that I like to do, so that's that. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, a shoot with Stephanie. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, just please subscribe, hit that subscribe button below. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching today. God bless.